12 years we've been doing the show, and one of the sort of primary themes that we've been hitting on the show is the importance of the judiciary. And it is hard to express the level of neglect that Democrats, leftists, progressives, liberals have exhibited towards the courts. In some instances, that neglect has actually been active and hostile to any message about the courts. I've had ding-dongs on here who are like, blah, 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 Michigan moon falling into the lake and this and that. And I've also had people who said, like, F the courts. We don't need them. And it's like, well, that's true, but they exist. And the ability of our government to do anything of which we think is of value is on the precipice of being torn down. And I honestly don't know what the solution is to how you stop this other than, to begin committed to at least making people understand these things.
And there needs to be a serious mechanism, not like just within Democratic circles, but on the left to actually, have litmus tests for liberal liberal court appointees, judges, etc. There's no discipline. We're not even
at the point where people understand. Like, I can tell you that right now that no one who doesn't work in finance is going to be aware of the implications of these SEC rulings. No one who doesn't work in environmental protection is going to be aware of the fact that at one point, like, the EPA doesn't have the ability to make sure that your water's clean. The way that you're going to find out is 5 years down the road, we're going to see a higher rate of cancer, or we're going to see a higher rate of a certain disease, people who live in certain areas. And it's going to take another 5 or 10 years of people put that together. You're going to see 2 kids die because of the formula. Well, you're going to see 5 years down the road, it's just several hundred kids a year die from it. Also, more people get sick with food poisoning. I mean, this is the way it will go, and it'll be very hard to communicate. Like, these things are not just random acts. These things are not coincidences. This is a concerted effort to allow corporations and money to essentially privatize their profits and socialize the costs. And the way that they socialize the cost, they spread it out in such a way that you can't see it. It is a hidden fee that you are paying in misery, in lack of health, in shortened lifespans, and it probably costs money too associated with all of that. And this is all a function of our court system is going to inhibit these things. And on top of it, the courts are also functioning to make sure that even if there is an awareness amongst Democrats that, hey, wait a second, we need to start organizing into that, it makes it that much harder to get into an electoral position where you can appoint these judges. I mean, that's why I will say this.
It's a two-pronged approach. They're stacking the courts and they're gerrymandering so that on the state level and then, of course, on the federal level, it's just completely tilted in their direction.
So, when we say like maintaining the Senate is so huge in 2022, it is, that's an understatement. The idea that Joe Biden would have the opportunity to appoint maybe another 150 federal judges, maybe another Supreme Court justice, probably not, but maybe, versus Donald Trump putting in that next 150 after he had just done a couple hundred it's huge. We're already seeing it. We could arguably be past the point of no return. But to the extent that that we're not, the Senate becomes so important. Can't overstate that. Can't. That's why, like, just even like us, cheering on Dr. Oz and McCormick, going deep into the vote counts, like literally every day that eats up a moment of their ability to go into the general election, the better. I mean, the idea that like maybe there'll be some resentment from Purdue Kemp. Well, that's a governor's race, but nevertheless, Stacey Abrams wins, Warnock's going to win.
Right.
I mean, this is, the value of even like a congressional race in these states where there is a Senate race is not even the congressional race as much as it is that their ability to get more voters to the polls who are going to pull the D lever for the Senate race.
Tim Ryan versus J.D. Vance.
Yes. And so every race that is congressional or state race where a Democrat's running and can bring out 4 extra voters helps Tim Ryan in that race. And you could tell me you could tell me the worst thing possible about Tim Ryan, and all I could tell you is that if he makes the 50th senator on the Democratic side, then it's worth it. Period. End of story. That's how important the judiciary is, particularly now.
Frankly, we're lucky that in Georgia there's a gubernatorial race this time around.
Absolutely, because Stacey Abrams is going to bring out. I mean, it's going to be a big boon. It's going to be
and there need to be more Stacey Abrams across the country, candidates that may not actually win, but I mean she could win this time around. But regarding last time, who set up infrastructure for other candidates so that there isn't just like a building of things from scratch when we're in a dire situation like we're in right now.
C. Biddy is asking me, can the person who loans the money decide not to seek repayment of the loan too? How the F is this legal? No. It's not even a repayment of the loan. It's a campaign contribution. So I loan myself the money for my campaign. I charge me 100% interest. I call up George Soros, one of my big donors.
And best friends.
And maybe I don't even call him up. Maybe I'm just like, we're having tea, and I'm over there, to play tennis or whatever it is at his house. And I say, George, my campaign is in the hole, well, $1 million, and then plus the 100% interest that I charged on that loan to myself. So really, it's $2 million. What do you say you whip out your checkbook and make a $2 million donation to my campaign? I've already won. So the return on the investment is going to be there. Not to say that there's a quid pro quo. We would never say that. I'm just saying.
The return on the investment.
Yeah. Wouldn't you want to contribute to a guy that is definitely going to be in Congress? And of course, George is like, you had me at hello. And signs, and that's it. All right. We're going to head into the fun half where we will probably all take out a blunt instrument and let the blood drain from our veins.
I thought you were going to stop at blunt, but...
Yeah, whatever.